Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark, Saturday, July 30th, 2022. Max Headroom is back. My God, holy hell. Grace Randolph just goes crazy on the social medias. And I watched The Gray Man. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. That, a whole hell of a lot more here. Hollywood After Dark, folks. Saturday night, slap the like button, tickle your butthole. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It is Hollywood After Dark. Obviously, Saturday night. Hope you guys are having a good one. It's a hot day here in Washington. We've been having like multiple days of just nonstop heat, and my body is like, what's going on here? This is not what I'm used to. So I took last night off because I just was not feeling well. Same with today, but I'm feeling a little bit better. Hung out with the family, watched a movie, chilling out, getting ready to dive into this stuff here. And of course, joined right now by your friend, my friend. What up, Jimbo? How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. I just, wow, Grace Randolph really went off on Twitter.
You know, I mean, like, listen, I know a thing or two about social media virality in good and bad ways, to be fair. And I have angered the Snyder fandom. I'm blocked by probably well over half of them at this point. But man, even I was looking at some of her tweets going, holy fucking shit. It is really definitely a thing. It's crazy. I just find it to be nuts because you look at someone like Grace and you go, okay, yeah, like I get it. She's kind of backed into a corner, right? And you never want to back baby into a corner because you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know how they're going to lash out. So here she's got this, like, you know, a lot of people, and trust me, I've been getting comments and tweets and whatnot, you know, that are saying like, you were wrong. And I'm like, well, okay, for maybe, you know, right now, kind of, maybe, I don't know. And whatever, it's going to happen. But, you know, the key is to not like, you know, to not double down on it unless your ego demands it. And that's basically what's going on here. Ryan here backed me up about the heat, saying us Washingtonians are not used to this weather. Last year we had the heat dome, 3 days of pure hell. And it went away finally. This year, it's like 4 days of like a little cooler than that, but still warm and humid. And it definitely sucks. So that is kind of the whole thing has that one. Danny here says no more drama, puts Grace in the headline. There's a difference, though, because the drama is interpersonal drama that I'm involved in. All right. In regards to the Snyder stuff, I'm not out here. I'm looking at this from a purely third-party perspective in this particular point.
I mean, is it really drama though? Like it's just like I don't know. I don't really consider it drama because then again, it's Grace Randolph saying this. Like I said, she's backed herself into a corner, and she has to like show that she maybe has some credibility at this point.
Well, yeah, basically, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole point, though. Like, and I've talked about this before as well. Like, you know, when scoopers get to the point where they start, you know, when one of their major scoops or one of their major plays is called into question, oftentimes, like, you would figure the right thing to do would be just to say, hey, we got it wrong. It happened. We got it wrong.
Goalpost. That's
well, in some instances, some people definitely, you know, will move the goalpost. Others, you know, but a lot of them probably won't sit there and say, I got it wrong. Because why would they? You know what I mean? Like, why would they say anything is wrong when that might hurt their credibility with their audience? You know,
yeah. That's everything in scooping. That's everything.
Yeah.
Your credibility is literally paramount. And like you said, why would they say they're wrong? Because if they say that enough, people will be like, why am I listening to you? I'm going to go to someone else who says, maybe not, I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right once every month or once every fucking year or something like that. But, you know, credibility is key.
It really is key. I mean, look, like, people get mad at me all the time over shit. I'm like, I'll make bolsterous claims, but like, I have no, I don't have a scooper feeding me information anymore, really. And I even regret that, to be honest with you. Like, I felt like it was, I don't want to say duping the audience, but I felt like it definitely was one of those moments where I wasn't like, I was kind of relying on information that I didn't know if it was truthful. and I
I'm
don't
just
like that.
running with it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. As weird as it is to say, I'm not a big fan of that at all. Like I know people out there might disagree, but it's like, look, when I talk about these things, I want to like come at it from the most honest perspective that I can, because I legitimately fucking care about movies. Like I legitimately care about the entertainment industry. So for coming into a situation where I don't know if this is real, if this is fake, I don't want to sell you on something that's not going to be real. I just feel like that is setting you up for disappointment. Ultimately, if it doesn't come true, sure, there might be some times where it does, right? And then when it does, you get that dopamine hit, right? You get that spike and you're all like, everyone's like, oh, you were right, you were right, you were right. And that feels good. No one wants to hear that they're wrong. It feels good to know that you're right. But then if you're wrong, and if you address that you're wrong and you say that you're wrong, it's going to hurt your credibility for future things you might say. So it's kind of like there's an entrepreneur named Gary V, who I think is I have mixed feelings on. But he always makes these over-the-top bolsterous claims, mostly for hyperbolic entertainment value. But like if he's ever right, he just likes to ride that high, and everything else. Ryan here, I agree. Accuracy requires matters more than speculation, 100%. Galen here for $2, thanks, buddy. Says that's why I got out of the Scoop game. Yeah, I didn't know you were in the Scoop game. I thought you were going to film school. I'm just saying. I didn't know. I mean, I know I know that you've said you've heard things. I had been told that you just like talked to Casey Walsh, and that's what Casey said. That's what I was told about you, man. So I mean, like, I don't know, but yeah, focus on going to school and getting your education and making content rather than talking about things that may or may not happen. Mm-hmm. Garrick here with $2 says, who do you respect more, Chapek or Zaslav? Zaslav, dude. You fucking kidding me? Zaslav is at least interested in wanting to like build out, right? He wants to build from like the middle out, so to speak. Not the bottom up, but like the middle out. Like, look at what you've got, expand outward from there. Whereas Chapek is like, look at what you have and let's milk it till the tit runs dry. And then fuck everything up in the process, because they're more minded about money. They're more minded about merchandise, about tickets to the parks, about appeasing shareholders. Iger he cared about all those things, but he definitely wanted to make sure that it was all done in a way where everybody won. You know what I mean? And I feel like Iger was a far greater businessman. Zaslav is a cheap ass, but he's willing to listen and learn. Even though like he's an older dude, like he doesn't understand how to run a film studio. So he wants to learn how to do it. So that's where I'm at with that one there. But anyway, also we did I know we saw this one here from Rational. Thanks, buddy. It says, Matt, Grace was the one that said back in March of 2021 that Warner Brothers really loved the Snyder Cut and they wanted him to do Justice League 2 and 3 and Wonder Woman 3. She started all of this. Oh, no, I'm not saying that like Grace is innocent in anything. Like, again, she runs her mouth, dude. Like a lot of us on social media, a lot of us online, we run our fucking mouths. This is just true. All right. Like we do. We say things, we joke. I run my mouth all the time. Believe me. But I try to be as accurate as I possibly can and everything else. But yeah, like, she could have heard it back then, right? There was a lot of speculation going on back in March of 2021 about the future. But as soon as that Ann Sarnoff article came out talking about the cul-de-sac, no, that was the cul-de-sac was that was a Hamada quote. But as soon as that Ann Sarnoff article came out, that was like, oh no, it's over, folks, it's done. That kind of changed things for a little bit there. But I do feel that basically, we'll get there. Now, Garrick here says Michael Eisner was better than Chapek. Well, yeah. I mean, Jimbo, I don't know how, well, you're way younger, but like, did you ever watch the Wonderful World of Disney? You probably don't even know what that is, do you? Okay. So back.
What did I just come back to?
The Wonderful World of Disney. It was a Sunday night thing. This is like the late 80s, early 90s. Disney would do like these Sunday night ABC family films, right? Like the Swiss Family Robinson and things like that. And which, by the way, is a great movie. Swiss Family Robinson is a great movie. I recommend it. It's on Disney Plus. It should be on Disney Plus. I might go try to find that one tomorrow because that was a good movie I watched a bunch as a kid. Anyway, And they would always do these, like, not every, I think it'd be like, every couple months or whatever, there'd be like this big like ABC Disney family movie event. And the movie would be introduced on television by Michael Eisner, the former CEO. And that was at a time he was running the show during like the mid 80s when Disney was in the shitter. There was a time when Disneyland almost closed in the mid 80s. It just was not doing well. And you would think to yourself, there's no way in hell that Disneyland would not do well, right? Like, I mean, how could Disneyland ever not do well? Look at how many people go and how beloved and cherished it is. A lot of that is because of Michael Eisner. And so, like, the guy was the face of the company for years. And a lot of people, like, really, like, they looked to him for that. And then, of course, I think after he left is when Iger came in. So there's definitely, John here says 3-channel reality. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why don't we? Why don't we? Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we? It doesn't have as much of a ring to it as $3 Theater, but definitely there we go. Oh, sorry. The Magical World of Disney ran from 54 to 97. Okay. Well, I should say, Ryan, to clarify here. All right. I should see, to clarify. I watched it as a kid when it was on. So for me, it would have been like the late 80s, but yes, you're right. Walt Disney himself used to introduce it. And like, that was the thing. They should bring that back. Although I don't know necessarily if Bob Chapek would have the same emotional impact or gravitas that someone like Iger or Eisner would have, You get up there like he's just smoking a cigar. Like, hey, kids, you want to watch a fucking movie about a fucking Frozen themed shit? Buy my fucking merch.
Where's my secretary? I need more Newports.
Yeah, maybe he is a menthol kind of guy. Who knows? Maybe. Maybe.
Damn, I need my bourbon.
I need shake my glass with my bourbon and smokes. You little bastard children, you gotta watch what I fucking tell you.
You gotta watch what anime project I put out there, and I will put all the goddamn.
Disney doesn't fuck with anime, dude. Like, Disney doesn't. I mean, maybe Disney should fuck with anime. Maybe. Well, I mean, Disney. They did have a deal with for distribution with Studio Ghibli films for a bit. But yeah, I don't think Disney doesn't fuck with anime yet, but they will. They should absolutely bring. Look, Disney will 100% turn to anime when anime has its full domination of the West, right? When we're talking like peak levels of like lowly and Shota degeneration on the airwaves of like Cartoon Network. It's just going to be like fetishized images of children. And that's going to be the end. That's the dystopian anime future weebs want. I'm being hyperbolic, weebs, okay? I still need to watch Perfect Blue. All right, I'm going to watch it. Okay, we did an anime red pill night. I'm just saying, it's some cool looking shit.
All I gotta say is, from a certain source, apparently Disney is getting into the anime game.
Yeah. And folks, you can't make this shit up.
From my secret Hollywood source, aka Anonymous Mickey, Disney is getting into the. Shut up! This is my scoop. I'll sick Harvey Cthulhu on your ass. Leave me alone. Oh shit, the duct tape on my mask is falling apart. I gotta make this quick. But yeah, they're getting into anime, and the first thing they're doing is making hentai of Mickey Mouse. Goodbye.
Look, Rule 34 exists of everything, okay? You could probably right now type in like Mickey Mouse Rule 30. I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
Please, no.
Mickey, no. I'm not gonna bring it up on screen. Rule 30. I'm just like, look. Okay, Mickey Mouse. I had misspelled Mickey. Right. Oh my God. Okay, let's see here. Whoa. Okay, that was a bit harsh.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Mostly because there's an image here of Mickey Mouse having sex with Bugs Bunny.
I like that.
And then there's another one of him catching Minnie Mouse having sex with Danger Mouse, which is very interesting. And then there's one here of like a guy having sex with a Minecraft plushie, which for some reason
Oh, which character?
is featured in the images for Mickey Mouse Rule 34. So whatever tagging this person did it go? Oh my God, I just went back to the second screen.
Oh yeah. What character in Minecraft is it? What character? Come on, don't lowball me. What character?
It was oh God, it's the monster guy, right?
The
The zombie.
Oh,
There you go. Blandy Pignor, ladies and gentlemen. We found his secret fetish. Anyway, there you go, Jimbo. Thank you, buddy. All right. Garrick Gerva here, $2. Thank you very much, man. Asks, what's my take on the Grand Theft Auto 6 news? Have you heard about this, right? They're apparently going to be featuring a female protagonist, right? A female Latina protagonist. And they're scaling back sexist and racist humor. And people are mad. Grand Theft Auto went woke, they said. And
I mean, come on, dude. Come on. There's like, we all have played a Grand Theft Auto or a Rockstar game. I mean, think of Red Dead Redemption 2. You could literally beat the shit out of women suffragettes. Like, come on. Like, they're literally changing the whole, complete tone of their game and now actually giving a shit about, like, being more politically correct and actually, like, you know, before, like, think of Bully or, you know, GTA 5. They, like, I'm fine with having a female protagonist. Like, I don't care. And especially a Latina, like, damn, all right, let's go. But like, why you gotta remove all, like, it is what it is. But like, they're changing. The only issue is that it's just like they're trying to act like they're something they're not. Like, the whole reason why people like GTA is because of, one, a lot of things, but also there's a lot of funny moments and stuff that's like due to this. I mean, how many clips have you seen on YouTube of literally people in Red Dead Redemption 2 messing with the women suffragettes? Because it's just like really dark, shitty humor, and that's what they're good at.
Oh yeah, that video blew up back from Red Dead 2 when it's all like, I kill a feminist or whatever, like, or beating up the suffragette, and he finds the one, and then he hog ties her and takes her over, and, like, drowns her, and then like does it again where he puts her on like a train track or whatever. Because that was the thing with Red Dead Redemption, right? The worst achievement you could get in that game was when you hog tie a nun and you take her to a train. It's a dastardly achievement. You hog tie a nun and you take her to the train track and you put her on the train track, and then the train comes and just like eviscerates her, you know. And that was an actual achievement in Red Dead Redemption. Oh. And it's like I saw one. This is true. I was looking around on the 4chan subreddit like yesterday, and I came across this story of this guy who's like, he's like, I LARP as a serial killer in Red Dead 2. He's like, I go and I harass women out of town, and then I hog tie them and I take them to the middle of nowhere and I cut them up, right? And like posted screenshots, and I'm just like, okay, like, maybe like if there's going to be this kind of murder simulator that people are going to like get off on, it might be the right idea. Just saying, it might be the right idea for Rockstar to bring back, what's it called? Manhunt, to remaster Manhunt. Because Manhunt was the shit.
I thought you were literally going to say it's time to maybe like, this is the right time to do stuff. But I'm sitting here like, one, what do you do in GTA when you play it? One, you steal cars. You run over fucking people. You kill cops. You rob banks. You do all this stuff. Like, you do all this really vile shit. You rob banks.
Yeah, it's you're wrong. You're right. You're 100% right. You're not wrong on that one at all.
Like, bro, like, and
I know you could beat up hookers, right? You could bash
get a lap dance in fucking GTA, and then there's something that, like, I'm about to expose like some really deep fucking dumb shit. But me and my friends would, like, we realized that there's a fun strat. We would pick up random people on GTA Online and we'll say, "Do you want to join Operation Clean Up the Streets?" And they'd be like, "What's that?" It's like, well, is it a yes or no? And we just take them. So we'll go at night and we'll pick up a hooker. One of my friends would like take it to like the docks or something, hide her, and we'd have the random guy up in the tower with a clear shot, the sniper, and would say, and then like right as my friend gets done with the business and she goes back to the seat, he takes a shot. And then my friend would get out of the car and be like, another one down. I was just like, oh my God.
That is okay. Like, look, I, for one, like, that's fucked up. All right.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
like, you
it's
know,
all
if you're
it's
like,
all
if
about
you,
getting reaction of the random, because like we knew how fucked up it was. Like we're literally just like we're playing some fucking Zodiac type shit right here, just
yeah,
being
I mean,
hookers.
well, like remember
Like
that
it's
whole
all about
Sam
reaction
Maggs
there.
thing about like GTA 5 or GTA Online Virtual Assault from back like in 2014 or whatever, right? That whole, that's all. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that news
No,
clip?
this is the first time I'm hearing
All
it,
right, all
and
right. I
I'm
gotta
like,
play this. I gotta play this. Hold on
you have
here.
to, bro.
Oh, hold
That's
on.
literally like that's something accustomed with Rockstar Games, just like doing like really fucked up but funny shit. Like, cause like it's a video game, dude. I bet you 90% of the people, 99% of people won't do even like half this shit. Like, it's not even like a question. It's just like, bro, why you gotta bring morals in it? Let us do some funny sadistic shit.
Well,
Please.
that's kind of part of it is like a lot of
Exactly.
people out there, they don't, you know, it's so weird to think of people that go,
Like, what are they, a
it's a video game. It's a
politician?
video game. Let's like add morals to a video game. Like if I can go into a game and I like mow down people left and right, it, you know, it's kind of dumb to sit there and add a morality to it. But
Yeah.
this is the clip. This should be
Oh
the
God,
clip.
is this like the teabagging incident
Listen,
now?
listen, no. Well,
Oh God.
kind of. A little bit
Ugh.
more hardcore. That people, for those of you who don't know, they're trying to say that teabagging in Halo is like sexist or it's assault or whatever. I don't know.
You know it's getting actually worse. Like it's getting severely worse because now they're banned. Like so, just like
Wait, did 343 ban teabagging?
oh, no, it's Epic. They didn't ban it, but they banned like two professional Valorant players made a comment about it, saying that's dumb and that the fact that people are actually taking it seriously, like it is sexual assault in a video game, is dumb, and they got banned from Valorant and all Epic games, so now they can't compete professionally and stuff like that. I just
That's
think
so weird
like
that
they literally banned them, and they
yeah.
said they're spreading hate speech. And I'm just like, bro, or like something like hateful or something or cursing.
It's so weird how many people like look, I'm progressive, I'm a lefty, I'm a Bernie Sanders guy. But my God, it's getting like it is so ridiculous how like one person complains and then well
Like how fucking
like
dumb are
watch
people?
this. All right, like watch
Like
this though. And every actual Jess here says the way you play GTA says a lot about your character. I mean, like,
I don't really give
does
a
it
shit.
though? Like, does
No,
it? Like, I mean, if the game, in the game, you can't save people.
you
All
can't
right,
be a
like
good person.
you can't
You
really
can't.
be a good person. You know, like you can find ways to like hurt bad people, but you're still going to affect. Like, if you steal someone's car in a game that's called Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah, it's
that is
called
still
that for a
something
reason,
that
bro.
somebody else paid for. And that it's somebody else's property. And if
Did
you
you play
ram
the
into other
campaign at all?
cars or if you shoot, I'm just saying it's like you're hurt. It doesn't really, I don't know. I get what you're trying to say in regards to like that stuff. However, I mean, like you're replacing like one crime for another. Like I can take out a police helicopter and there's like a $250,000 piece of machinery that the city owns.
And you
Never
killed
mind
three people's
the
families.
three people inside that are dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like, let's not act like anyone who plays GTA has a moral high ground and stuff like that. Like when you play GTA, like the first thing you do when you launch the damn game is do bank heist, because you can't. You have to do story mode right away. I
Yeah.
believe that's still a thing. And you rob a bank and you have to kill cops to get out of there. So
Yeah.
there's like literally no way to have like some sort of moral high ground or be like,
Like
oh, it says a
at
lot
least
about you.
so last night when I wasn't feeling well, I downloaded Watch Dogs 2 because it's on Xbox with Games Pass. And Watch Dogs 2 allows you to knock people out by either melee knock them out or you can stun gun them or you can kill them. Either way you want. You can do a no kill run or you can kill everyone. All right? It doesn't really matter. The game allows you the opportunity to make those plays. Whereas Grand
Right.
Theft Auto, if at least in number 5, my God, if you so much as look negatively in the general direction of an NPC, they're dead. In GTA 4, you could actually you could shoot them about 4 or 5 times in different parts of their body and not kill them, right? Or my favorite thing was in Grand Theft Auto 4 was to punch one, have them come back to punch at you, but run next to a cop. And if you run
Oh
next to a
yeah.
cop and they punch you, the cop will then look at that as an act of aggression and they'll arrest the person. And if that person has a gun, they will then kill that person. And then I get the gun. And I would do that for hours. Like I would provoke people into attacking me, and then they would die. Right.
Like,
or they would get arrested, and then I would just follow the cop car and wait to see what the cop car does. And the cop car wouldn't do anything. It just like literally drives around. It doesn't actually arrest anybody. It just drives around. And then what I would do is I would take out the police, and then I would do the cheat to like remove the wanted level. And so then I would like wait for the guy to get out of the car, and then I would get him to provoke me again, or I'd provoke him again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot here.
I mean, think of like even the TV channels that are in GTA, like GTA 4 and 5, like Space Rangers, something like that. Like,
oh yeah,
bro, that's the funniest. Like, I would literally just sit and watch like the TV shows just to wait for that to come on in GTA 4 and 5. And oh my god, it's always just the dumbest, but yet funniest and cringiest shit. But like, that's the type of stuff that they're gonna probably take away when they do all this new stuff. Because that's very provocative in a lot of manners. Because I mean, they make fun of obviously disabilities, race, ideologies, and stuff like that in just a very weird way. And it's like all that.
Well, the thing with Grand Theft Auto you have to remember is that it was run by Dan Houser and Sam Houser. They co-founded the company. They also wrote a lot. Like Dan Houser was like the lead writer on GTA 4, I believe, like Red Dead 2, Max Payne 3 specifically. So a lot of that deep like satire or deep cynicism that came out of those games was, I think, very much Dan Houser inspired. And he left the company a couple of years ago after Red Dead came out. So it's kind of like now his brother runs the company, but Take-Two is a big part of that. All right, so here, check this out. You've never seen this. You've never seen this.
I just see
this is an actual, honest to God news broadcast. This is a real, aired in Toronto news broadcast.
I thought this was just like a YouTube video.
No, this is not. This is a real thing. A real report. Okay.
Oh God. All right.
Okay. I want you just to like, I'm going to mute. I want to hear your reaction.
All right.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic, but this is virtual rape. Hackers rewriting codes and hijack Grand Theft Auto. The vile scenes are then posted to YouTube.
That's deplorable and should not be allowed anywhere. Like, they should be banned off the servers immediately.
Violence. In Grand Theft Auto, for instance, players carry knives and guns and they get away with looting and murder. But the sexual brutality now popping up online has the attention of Toronto police.
If people have experienced it.
In this scene, a dog has been modified to do disturbing things, and Detective Sean Marshall, who investigates cybercrimes, tells me this new trend is hard to label. A hacker could be next to impossible.
It depends on where the person is that's actually doing it, because they could be anywhere in the world.
So because of what she calls a misogynistic mentality that already exists in the world of gaming. And she says these new rape scenes only illuminate that.
It's violating, it's triggering for people who have survived assault in the past.
It can also be hacked and modified, so we're taking a
Oh God, I knew I was waiting for the trigger word. Oh, like okay,
There you go.
As soon as the video popped up and I saw her, I'm like, oh, she's definitely fucking. I was waiting for the trigger word and misogyny to be brought up, but I mean, yeah, I bet it could be triggering to people who have experienced sexual assault because it's literally that, but like, I've never. I mean, maybe that's just a PC thing, but like, I've never been across that and. GTA is immensely hacked at this point.
Well, this is from 2014.
Okay, then
as when 2014 or 2015 is when that happened. Ryan here says they're really desperate to bring that Gamergate art thing. No, this is from a long time ago. This is not like. And here's the thing with there's literally but there's nothing. But it's been so long now. GTA Online has been out now for like 9 years. This October.
And they're still promoting it, making more updates.
Yeah.
And Red Dead Online goes
exactly, and like it never an issue. But that woman right there, the woman who was being interviewed, her name is Sam Maggs. Sam actually went on to become a video game writer. She actually worked on, you remember Spider-Man for PS4, the Black Cat DLC?
Oh God! Oh,
She wrote the Black Cat DLC. She also was working with Aspyr on the Knights of the Old Republic remake. But then like she left the project a while back, and then that whole thing now is really in a crazy space. Moisture here for $5, man. Thank you. Says, can people not separate fiction from reality? If I murder people in Grand Theft Auto, should I be charged in real life? I mean, eventually, I have a feeling that is going to be that people that I have. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I have a feeling someone will eventually make a call for it. Someone eventually is going to say that, you know. And it's very ridiculous in my mind, just where we find ourselves in this shit.
So when I commit war crimes and kill hundreds of people in Call of Duty, am I gonna be charged now and put on a death penalty for killing people? And
maybe. I mean, Pat Roberts in here, who's like a crazy ass, he's like an evangelical, right? Said killing in video games is the equivalent to killing in real life. Now there's actually, believe it or not, Garrick, believe it or not, there's actually a Christian justification for saying that, right? Or a biblical justification for making that claim. And I'm not kidding when I say this. All right, as it was taught to me when I used to go to church. Now, other religious spiritual leaders might not agree with this and they might push back on it. But when I was going to church, my pastor told me it's like it doesn't matter like if you know, because every sin is forgivable with the exception of blasphemy, right? Murder, whatever, theft, adultery, whatever, all forgivable with the exception of taking the Lord's name in vain. However, it doesn't matter if I actually say it or if I actually do it. I commit the sin by simply thinking it or feeling it. So and this is like what as it was explained to me when I was being taught the Bible, was that if in my mind, if I say, well, that's effed up, right? If I say that's effed up, I'm not saying the word fuck. I'm not saying that's fucked up. Okay. But if I say that's effed up, that's still in my mind, I'm saying the F word. So you know exactly what word I'm saying. You know I'm saying fuck. I just don't vocalize it. Meaning that in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, I have still said the F word. You know, and then if I say GD it, right? Or, you know, like Jeezy, crazy or whatever, even though I'm not saying God damn it or Jesus Christ, in my heart of hearts, I am blaspheming against our Lord and Savior, right? So that's kind of the whole point. So in your mind and in your heart, so if you in your mind want somebody dead or wish somebody dead or take acts to make somebody unalive, then according to that magical sky god, we are in a world where you've already committed that sin in your heart. That's what they were telling me and shit. That's what they were fucking telling me when I was back in church and stuff. So it's always really funny to like see that comment because I kind of understand like where they're coming from. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like complete bullshit. All right, it's all like, you know, there's lots of people I've wished dead, but I would never in a million years actually kill them. You know what I mean? Like I would never do that. But it's like you know what? Hey, if they're having if they have themselves a bad day, I'm not going to feel bad. Yeah.
Think of American Psycho. Like, isn't that whole movie like from like watch like the first viewing and like watching and like this guy has thought about murdering people and like being actually a sadistic fuck, but then like it comes to at the end like, oh, these people are still alive. He was just actually, you know, doing all this other stuff, and he's like, what, you stupid bastard, all that stuff. It's like, dudes, like there's a difference between thinking it, doing it in a video game that's literally just a bunch of NPCs, computer generated people that are non-existent. Like, unless we're gonna be like, oh, but Free Guy, these people are real, they have feelings, you know. People, it's just like, dude, there's difference. Like when I die in a video game, do I actually die? So if I commit sexual assault in a video game, it's not me doing it in real life. But if I die in a video game, do I die in real life? No, because they're separate. They're two separate things. I know it's a shitty argument, but like I really don't know. This is just a very dumb. Hold
on. I just
the Planetary's message. It's great. That's all I was laughing at.
Let me see Planetary's message here.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious.
Hold on. I've killed so many people in Dynasty Warriors over the decades that no war in history can compare to the death count. Oh, yeah, dude. 100%.
Dude, that's great.
Let's see. Anthony Grigsby for $8 Australian. Thank you very much, Anthony. Says, hey, Matt and Jimbo, they will keep propping up the argument that games like GTA encourage actual shootings. No, I know they will. They always will. It's not true at all. Like, after all of these years.
I played GTA since it came out, and look at me, I'm perfectly fine.
I'm sorry, hold on. Let me just clarify. Which version of you're talking GTA 3
No,
or which
GTA 5, 4. I played all of them. I played
because
all
like
of them.
I was in high school when GTA 1 came out, bitch. You're like, I played them as they came out. Yeah, 97, motherfucker.
I
had this. Do you want to know pain, Jimbo? Do you want to know fucking pain? Do you remember demos? Do you ever, and now they're called betas, right? But like demos were a thing way back in the day. And they had a Grand Theft Auto demo. And it was only 6 minutes. 6 minutes. It was a timed demo. It was a 6 minute. You could play it as much as you wanted, but it was like only 6 minutes. You could only do so much in 6 minutes. I mean, like you want to talk about like pushing someone to murder, give them a video game with a 6 minute timer, and do that.
God.
But I don't
insane.
look. The thing is, I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that video games cause actual violence. I think in many ways,
But movies do.
Movies don't cause violence.
No, but like
either.
this is like the point I'm trying to make here. Like with the movies, is like there's plenty of movies. Think of Nocturnal Animals. Are you gonna charge the actors for portraying that with like actual people, like, because that's real life, but they're not actually doing it because they won't, like, that's not the point I'm trying to make here. They're acting like as if that situation is happening, like sexual assault's happening.
Well, let me show you.
Graphic.
There was a
It's just
great
like,
a great meme from back in the day. Okay, that would give you like if imagine, for example, if this stuff actually was leading people down the pathway that they think it is, you would get a person. There's actually been a meme, a little video made of this. You ever heard of a guy named FPS Doug?
No, but I'm already horrified by this grain.
Oh, this is old. This is like 2005, maybe before.
God.
This is old internet, dude. This is Pure Ponage, which you should look up Pure Ponage. He's great. Old, one of the very first kind of like internet comedian types. Like the internet character types or whatever. But this is his buddy, FPS Doug. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm talking about. Here, check this out.
Oh, it's off, man. I haven't seen you since last time. How's it going?
Pretty bad, actually.
Right on.
Jeremy quit the show.
That's Jeremy, dude.
So do you want to be the star now?
Me. Let's do it. I'm playing some CS Source right now. We can get some footage of that. Go back! Yeah!
See, this would be your guy.
Boom, headshot! Boom, headshot! I can dance all day! I can dance all day! Try to hit me! Try to hit me! Come on! Boom, headshot! Yeah! Yeah! Dude! Take that, bitch! So, like, this is my PC here. It owns. It owns!
Is this the OG version of I Show Speed?
This is just one of the original YouTube memes.
No, but like this gives me I Show.
So yeah, I like FPSs. What can I say? There's nothing like the rush of hunting people down and killing them. I mean, my heart's beating, my hands are shaking, but I'm still shooting, and I'm still getting the headshots. It's like boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
Needs help.
You wanna go for a jog, man? We can go for a jog.
Okay, but what are you doing with a knife?
What do you mean? Run faster with a knife. Everyone runs faster with a knife. So I mean, like, what do you want to do, man? What do you want to film? Like, you can always just film me owning noobs, doing the same old thing, but like, what do you and Jeremy usually do?
We just walk around and stuff.
Walk? Man, I got some wheels. So no, I guess I can tell you some bit about myself. I work every once in a while, occasionally, like I can't really hold down a job. People like me, it's really tough. My dad owns a gun shop, but, he doesn't like to admit it, but I think it makes him real nervous when I work there, because anytime I get a gun in my hand, it just automatically points to somebody's head. Sometimes I think maybe I want to join the army. I mean, it's basically like FPS, except better graphics. But what happens if I get lag out there? I'm dead! I mean, I even heard there's no respawn points in RL. What do you do when you're a person like me? When you're born to play FPS? Because there's nothing left to do but play FPS. Boom! Headshot!
Doug? Doug, what's going on? Are you okay?
What do you do?
Doug, what's going on?
You know what, Kyle? I think you just better go, dude. I think you just better go, dude.
Are you okay?
Just go, man. Seriously, just go. Oh, man! God, you Jesus! Oh, fucking lag, you piece of shit! Oh, yeah, I can suck back your ass for 5 goddamn minutes, you don't talk, man! You like that? You're fucking talking it up! Oh, yeah, you fucking like that! You motherfucker! Fucking goddamn lag! Oh, fuck!
See, now that was a joke back in the day, right? That was a joke from well back in, God, I forget when, right? But like early 2000s and shit. And yet here it is now, and we can go, yeah, no, people are actually kind of fucking like that. You know, so it's funny how it ended up kind of going that way. Anyway, I fucking love FPS Doug and also Pure Ponage. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. So there's obviously that. Now, before we move on to talking about something here, Jess for $2 did say, I'd rather watch Anka, I think, than I forget exactly what he was referring to, but Anka is like kind of a sexualized Animal Crossing character. I guess I'm assuming. Oh, we're talking about anime, I think, right? Or maybe anime. I'm not. No, you like anime, Jess. So there's absolutely that one. Cosmic here says the joke has become reality. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's as sad as it is. McLeod here saying that Bill Maher has been making those arguments as well, that violent action / revenge films with extreme power fantasies. I mean, dude, I just watched The Gray Man, and that is basically like that kind of movie and shit, right? So, Ashley, you know what we'll do? Jimbo, have you seen Gray Man yet?
I've only seen the trailer, and I've been waiting to see what other people say about it, because to me, it looks like just a generic action movie. And
you know what? Well, I'll give a spoiler-free kind of overview real quick on it, because I already have, I was going to talk about it anyway.
Oh, so, no, you can spoil it. I don't really care.
Oh, well, I mean, I would say there's really not much to spoil. A lot of these movies don't really have anything truly significant to spoil, you know, because it doesn't reinvent the wheel. That's the thing with The Gray Man, this $200 million Netflix movie. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but I had a blast watching it. It was so much fun because look, not every movie out there has to be this very thoughtful, in-depth, you know, character study about toxic masculinity or whatever the fuck it is. But this movie is very much kind of a satirical take on. I know I'd say satirical. It's a thriller. It's very much meant to be looked at like it's a thriller, but it sets up kind of a Jason Bourne, James Bond-esque kind of world. And here's the thing: there's 8 books in the franchise. There's 8 books in this particular franchise of The Gray Man. However, this particular story, I looked up the original book, and it's not the same story. So they've altered it quite a bit. They brought in the guys who wrote Infinity War and Endgame, and those guys reworked the script into this. And really, it was a vehicle for Ryan Gosling to be an action star and for Chris Evans to be a dick. But he does a really good job in every scene that he's in, because he is just this gigantic asshole. But Billy Bob Thornton was fun in the movie. Jessica Henwick was interesting. Not my favorite character, but I liked her at the end. Ana de Armas was great. You know, she had really good chemistry with Ryan Gosling, I think, in a non sexual way, because they didn't hook up or nothing. But it worked out pretty well. I thought it was pretty good. The action was a lot of fun. The scene in Prague, their big action set piece with that was fucking insane. And yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. Again, it's not a movie that you're going to run to during Oscar season. You know, you're not going to be sitting there at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday and wanting to watch something that allows you to kind of delve deep into introspection. But if you're sitting there hanging out with your friends, hey, you see the fucking Gray Man? All right, give it a check out. It's kind of a little John Wicky, a little Jason Bourne, a little James Bondy. It's in that world. But it was a fair amount of fun. I think my only real complaint with it was the fact that it was PG-13. I think it would have been better as rated R, to be honest with you. So, So there's that. Yeah, no, I'm not spoiling it. If there's any way, John here asks, how is Chris Evans in the film? He needs a hit after the disastrous performance of Lightyear. Well, he was good. He was actually one of the highlights in the movie because I love Chris Evans. I always have. But him playing this actual sociopathic bad guy that just kind of does everything with this very twisted smile on his face was pretty great. Yeah. And how was his trash stash? His trash stash was pretty good. So, but again, I thought the movie was a lot of fun. I watched it with my girlfriend. We were trying to it was funny because the movie, we had it cranked up kind of loud and our 2-year-old fell asleep while watching it. And my 4-year-old was just on her tablet and then at the end of the movie, she's like, this is a really good movie. I love this. And I'm like, maybe you shouldn't watch, during some of the more hardcore scenes we're covering her eyes and everything else as you do with children. But it was funny. It was definitely a fun movie. I will have to do a review on it later on, give more thoughts with spoilers and stuff. And then, maybe I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate patio commentary into things if I possibly can. There's just a lot going on right now. And to be fair, movie conversations on YouTube are kind of a dime a dozen. So I got to figure out how to do it to where it might actually have the chance to grow. So there's that one. But anyway, those are my quick thoughts on The Gray Man. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. 100%. So why don't we also talk about DC League of Super Pets? Have you been following this release at all, Jimbo?
Oh, I just know that the box office is laughable.
Well, here's the thing: is it's looking at a $22 million projected box office debut, and it's going to put it ahead of Nope and Thor: Love and Thunder, because Nope had a pretty decent opening weekend, but it had a 57% drop. And this one's coming out, and, I think a lot of people out there are kind of looking at this, and they're not, I don't think they don't want to go see it. And as I was talking about this very briefly on Max's channel, who is the face all over this, right? Who is the face of everything involving this movie? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Where are audiences not watching it? And if The Rock is the biggest and most electrifying name in entertainment, history, the highest paid actor in Hollywood, don't you think his name recognition would bring in a little bit more than $22 million on a movie featuring not only Batman, but Superman and Wonder Woman?
And Crypto, Cyborg, a lot.
Yeah.
It's just bro. I mean, 22 million is not bad, but I mean, it's still not gonna make the movie
on a $90 million budget.
Oh, wow! I thought it'd be way more. Okay,
no,
so that's actually pretty good then.
We'll have to wait and see here. Yeah. So it says, despite its status of top box office, DC League of Super Pets still seems poised to have a pretty tepid first weekend compared to other recent animated fare. The film's projected $22 million opening is not just significantly lower than Minions, which had $107 million, but also less than half of Pixar's disappointing $50.2 million for Lightyear. Still, there's little animated competition on the horizon, so it's possible DC League of Super Pets will catch up to the reported $90 million production budget and add enough from international market to break even for Warner Brothers. And this is the thing. Zaslav is going to look at this and definitely probably not push anymore. You know what I mean? I would say, well, still better than Paws of Fury. That's true. Paws of Fury, though, is a movie that was 2 years old. You know what I mean? It was shot, and then they finally just released it when it probably should have come out on just, on whatever it's called, on Paramount Plus. Now, Cosmic here says The Rock seems to be taking over DC with the $7 production. I agree, but this is not good for that, right? This is not good for that. Kazra saying here, RJ says that The Rock is the blueprint. Listen, I've said the same thing. I agree that when it comes to the live action fare, The Rock is the blueprint. But you figure after the hype that is coming off of Comic-Con just last weekend, that it would. Here's the thing with that too, is they should have done something at Comic-Con to promote this. The fact that they didn't shows me that they knew what they were anticipating and they didn't want to spend the money on it. Now, will this movie do well on home video and streaming? Oh, dude, 100%. It will absolutely do well on home video and streaming. I have no doubt about that in my mind. But is it going to be enough to warrant getting more? You know, because look, it is. My point here is right. It's Super Pets wins, but it also loses because this is really like a low weekend, and the final weekend of July it's not always like the best weekend of the summer, but it's definitely a weekend where, you know, you might have a little bit more going on with that. You know, so it says here, like, look, the family-friendly adventure movie follows the pets of famous superheroes, including Superman's Crypto. Other creatures include Boxer Ace, the pot-bellied pig PB, the hairless guinea pig villain Lulu. And the film has earned so-so reviews from critics, with Slash Films' Josh Spiegel calling it eminently forgettable. That's, yeah.
Wow.
That's, I mean, like, the thing is like, look, I know I saw Brandon mentioning it before. He saw it already. He said that it was cute. I'm just kind of paraphrasing what he said because I didn't highlight the comment. But I know that he said, like, there's 2 post-credit scenes. I know what one of the post-credit scenes is, and I'm not going to spoil what it is. But like, I groaned at it when I found out what it was. I thought it was very, very, very stupid, and it was very self-referential, and it's clearly feeding in to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ego. You know, it might meant to be, oh, this cute little thing for the future, but it's really kind of not. You know, and so, I mean, look here, Lord Slug says Black Adam will do amazing at the box office. Will it though? Will it?
I think it'll do decent. I don't think it's going to be spectacular. It looks really, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how well The Rock plays himself, and also kind of how they do Dr. Fate. And I'm just really curious to see if they're really going to actually let Black Adam be like a badass. But they're going to make him, you know, I bet they're going to kind of downplay Black Adam in this one.
Well, I think they're going to, you know, look, to get people in the seats for Black Adam come this fall, there has to be a really good reason to do it. And, you know, if you look at like previous October comic book movie flair, you've got, you know, Venom, Joker, Venom 2, all have had really good openings. You know, like all in like the 80-90 million range, right? So is Warner Brothers, are they thinking that by releasing Black Adam when they're releasing it, that it's going to ultimately have that same kind of impact, where it's going to be able to just wow audiences and whatever? And I don't know. I'm my estimations, and again, I could be wrong, but my estimations would be around probably a $35 to $45 million opening weekend, which would actually be a relatively high estimation for what you know, the other movies were projected to make during that time. Venom and Venom 2 and the Joker were all estimated around 45 to 50, maybe 55 million, and it all overperformed. Venom overperformed significantly well. Still can't, because it's actually not a horrible movie, right? I don't quite know necessarily why it did, but like, it wasn't horrible, but it did well. The Joker obviously had all of that controversy that was surrounding it. That propelled it up there. Never mind, it was a good movie. Venom 2 had that Superman tease that was all but confirmed by Sony, leading into the massive hype for Spider-Man No Way Home. So that's kind of where we find ourselves on this. I'm sorry, what?
You said Superman. I was like, wait, what? Superman?
Sorry, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
No Way Home.
I was,
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, but like, how bad was that fucking performed? I mean, the whole Venom 2 was hype, and that might have done something for No Way Home, but like, bro, it just immediately got tore down by the end of No Way Home, and it just has left more people like mad about it. Like, there's like no point of it. It's just Sony.
Oh yeah. Things. That No Way Home like post-credit or mid-credit scene with Venom was like such a turnoff. It was so
Truly.
bad. Now Chan talks the shit you don't. Says here, Super Pets is actually pretty good, though kind of sad. There's even a post-credit scene involving Black Adam. I didn't read that before I clicked on it. Yeah, I wasn't trying to spoil the Black Adam cameo at the end, dude.
I was really. Is that like actually? Is that? I thought it was just like him just kind of making a joke because it's The Rock in the main.
No, it was really? It's Black Adam. It's Black Adam. Yeah.
Is it like
Black Adam meets Crypto? Yeah, like Black Adam meets Crypto.
And it's The Rock.
Yeah, voicing both characters. That's what I've been told.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is so bad, bro.
That's bad. That's not even like meta, right?
That's
it's like, I
horrible.
know.
It's the
I know
same
it's
voice
meant to
actor.
be.
Why would they do that? That's just so confusing. Like, imagine like they're talking about confusing the audience by having like multiple Batman. Bro, you're having two of the same voice actors play like two different characters. Children and like parents who have to go to the theaters to take their kids are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, bro, okay, I'm sorry. That is so dumb. Like, bro, why? Why would you do that? No.
Well, I mean, again, that has a lot to do with just the way that they're running their business right now.
That is so
Lord Slug here says, like, how is that bad? It's meant to be meta, but like, it's kind of dumb. It's a kids movie, and they're featuring Black Adam, who famously is like in The Rock is all like, heroes don't kill people. I do. Like, so you have a hero movie about like, super pets and shit that are obviously like light and fluffy and cuddly. And at the end of it, they're just like, hey kids, here's Black Adam. He's going to fucking murder people. Like that's basically what they're doing. I mean, sure. Look, kids are going to go see Black Adam and whatnot. It's just going to be ridiculous. It's just
so we're going to charge The Rock for murdering people then? Are we going to charge him?
No, we're not going to do that.
He is openly in multiple different things with millions of views saying that that superheroes don't kill people, but he does. He's admitting he murders people.
Well, okay, so Moisture here for $5 and thank you. Says, wait, didn't Seth Rogen voice multiple characters in Chip and Dale that talk to each other? Yeah, but that was the joke. That was like, Pumbaa.
Not actually being serious.
Like he wasn't being serious at all. Yeah, you had Pumbaa, you had you had Bob, right? From Monsters vs. Aliens. You had the praying mantis from fucking the God damn it, man, fucking the Jack Black Panda movie.
Kung Fu Panda.
I don't know why I fucked that. We were just watching the new one.
You had Panda.
I know Kung Fu. I said Kung Fu, and I was like, "What's it called?" It's not Kung Fu Panda, right? It is, but no, that was the joke. The joke was that they brought those characters together, and then he still voiced another character in the movie. Like that was the gag. I don't know how the final scene plays out for Super Pets, but it is kind of ridiculous. I think that's my take on it, at least on that one. Anyway, SM here for $5. Thank you, buddy. He says Disney Plus anime summertime rendering coming fall with English dub currently available only on Disney Plus Japan. What is summertime rendering? I don't know what that is. Let me look. Summertime render. It's okay, hold on. It's a Japanese manga series. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So it's on Disney Plus. I guess it's coming to. The manga is an exciting page turner. Shinpai retains all of his memories when he travels through time, and he starts piecing together. I don't even know. Like I can't even find a fucking. Hold on. Description. What is it? Okay, here we go. Summertime Rendering is a story about Shinpai Ajiro, a high schooler who visits his hometown, the Awajishima Island, for the first time in 2 years following the death of his childhood crush, Yushio Kofune, who drowned by the beach after saving a little girl from being swept by a violent wave. Okay, that's only half of the description. Okay. Oh, he goes there to attend her funeral and then I guess goes through time. That's piecing it together. This guy's going to go through time to try to go and save his childhood crush. If you want my honest, that's what I think is going to happen. Maybe that's my take. That's kind of cool though, right? That's kind of sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little nice there, a little lovey-dovey, right? A little
it's approved. It's proved.
It's proved. All right. Before we get into the gray stuff here, I wanna bring up this right here. Have you ever heard of a character named Max Headroom?
What?
Okay.
No.
Max Headroom. This is where this news was announced. Yeah.
I've seen this photo.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. The news was announced. And a lot of people are still like, the fuck's going on with this? Like, they don't know what it is, because it's so obscure in like the late 80s, as being part of the culture of the late 80s. Like if you remember like Coke commercials and like Back to the Future 2, Max Headroom makes an appearance. Matt Frewer is the actor playing Max Headroom. Matt Frewer was in, like, he works with Zack Snyder occasionally. He was in Dawn of the Dead. He was in Watchmen, you know, so it's like he's been in a bunch of stuff over the years, right? Did you ever watch the original 90s miniseries of The Stand?
No.
Okay. Well, he played, I forget the name of the character, with the psycho guy with like the nuclear bomb and stuff.
You need to remember, I'm only 20 years old.
I know.
Like, this is way.
I know.
Like, I've seen a lot of 90s and 80s movies, and I've watched a lot of older stuff, but like I just like this obscure stuff, like no.
Yeah, no, I know. You are definitely like a bit different. You are definitely.
I'm so fetus. Leave me alone.
You're kind of a little bit on the fetus thing, right? So anyway, it's returning. It says your AMC network is reportedly developing a drama. Oh my God, a drama series about the reboot of the iconic 80s pop culture phenomenon Max Headroom. Actor Matt Frewer portrayed the fictional artificial intelligence AI character advertised as the first computer-generated TV presenter and known for his biting commentary, stutter, and pitch-shifting voice. Halt and Catch Fire co-creator Christopher Cantwell is writing the adaptation and is attached as showrunner, while Frewer is set to reprise his role as Max. Now, that is actually really cool that they are getting him back. So if you don't know what it is, you know, here, we'll take a quick look at what to kind of expect.
Give
here.
Me his lore. I want to know.
This is just what Max Headroom ultimately is. Okay, yeah, copyright 2008. Okay, he copyrighted clips.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more, because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it. Yes, namely, the Max Headroom story. And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger, namely, Max Headroom. So,
sit back,
relax,
and enjoy
my film.
Warum haben die
Deutschen so eine hartliche Sprache?
das Nütze Ich war in einem deutschen Restaurant.
Ja.
Und der Oberbrachte mir eine Suppe.
That's interesting.
It's weird. It's 80s weird. It's 80s weird.
Flop-flops. Great. If you see me, give me a wave. I love to see style. I also enjoy a good laugh.
I just love how I love kind of like the mannequin-esque look and like plastic look.
Yeah.
Things are all very well if you like them, but you know, no ordinary people like you and, well, ordinary people like you oughtn't to be afraid to speak up for classical music. And of course, he could write for all sorts of voices. Sopranos.
This gives me Jim Carrey mask vibes.
Well, you know, I think Fire Marshal Bill is kind of based off of this. And yeah, Jim Carrey very much kind of fits the vibe for like what followed this. But Max Headroom was popular. Who played the original Max Headroom? That Matt Frewer played the original Max Headroom. This is Matt Frewer right here. I believe that's who played the original Max Headroom. It's very weird. Music Man here says the hell. John here says this is scary. Tales from the Hood said this is creepy.
So the main guy who originally played Max Headroom is coming back to play this.
Yeah. So
is
this really so popular to make a film? Well, they're doing a drama television series, and I don't quite know what they're going to do with it. It's very much set in the 80s. Like what it was I think so weird at the time that that people like they just kind of flocked to it, so to speak. But there's a little bit of interesting there's a little bit of interesting lore that I think personally the show would be better off focusing on this versus actually like, you know, going into the character here. And Tales from the Hood brings it up here. He says, in Chicago back in the 1980s, a hacker hacked the local news station and was wearing a Max Headroom mask. And that's true. So here, this is a true unsolved a crime. It's an actual crime that took place in the 80s. Yeah, the Max Headroom piracy incident.
I have seen this.
Yeah.
That's actually wow.
So this is it from the 80s right here. This is what happened in 1987 when hackers did take over. I think it was like the WGA or whatever tower, WGN tower in Chicago. And they were able to do 2 broadcasts from somewhere within the city. So they, you know, but still don't know who they are to this day. But this is, yeah, here we go. So on November 22nd, 1987, an unidentified person appeared during a broadcast of Doctor Who in Chicago. He was wearing a Max Headroom mask, thus titling the incident, the Max Headroom Pirating Incident. I'm also doing my Robert Stack voice here, by the way. That's
why Doctor Who though. That's just rude.
Well, because it was on TV at the time. Bruh. That's what it was. It was on. It was a rerun. It wasn't a new episode. If it would have happened during like a season finale, like a first run, you know, where there was like a cliffhanger ending, and it was all of a sudden like, oh my God, who's the new Doctor going to be? And then it cuts in with, yeah, you have every right to be upset, right? Because back in the 1980s, like no one had fucking, you know, people like, you know, DVR wasn't a thing. Yeah. If you didn't know somebody who was recording it in another fucking city outside of the broadcast range, you were fucked. So anyway, this pirate, whoever he is, has never been caught. His minute-and-a-half ramble is so hard to understand, so subtitles have been added as accurately as possible. I fuck up my voice all the time. So this is the Doctor Who episode.
But it's the only way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
Some dry clothing.
Yeah, it's weird shit. It's just weird shit. You know, him just... I mean, he's not really wrong. Yeah. And then there's a woman, right? There's a woman. And he starts showing his butt and starts having her slap him with a fly swatter. Right? Like, it's what the hell is this? And then they cut it.
By golly, those were some ass cheeks.
I mean, just imagine. Update. On November 30th, 2010, a Reddit user named BPOAG posted an essay stating that he thinks he knows who did it and has a lot of legitimate points to back him up. If what he's saying is true, perhaps his case will not go completely unsolved in our time. Let's see. Oh, and that's it right there. Okay. So it's like, and there's a whole documentary about it. People have talked about this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of videos here talking about it. There's a lot of people that have like always talked about this story and like how interesting it is. Cause it is interesting.
Sounds
right?
like a Crud Watch sort of thing. Or not really
It's
Chud
not a
Watch.
Chud Watch. It's
Yeah.
like a Stranger Days sort of thing, right?
That's yeah,
There
exactly.
we go. That's a segue
That's
into
it.
another property that I have right there.
Yeah.
Another thing that I do. If you guys,
We need to get deep into this mystery here, or you need to do that, because that actually is generally interesting, because like it's so weird, but the way that they're able to do that and still no one knows who did it or has come out like decades later and says, yeah, that me and my friends hacked a news broadcast. Like that's what's crazy about it, because I mean, like usually people like after a while usually like maybe admit like, oh yeah, we did this thing, or just say it to someone passing by, but they take no and tell someone. But like the fact that like still no one knows is like amazing.
it is interesting just because we brought that up here. So I do have another project that I'm working on. It's called Stranger Days, stories from the darkest recesses of history and the internet. And I did do a demo episode. I shared it around, like Ryan and a few other people have heard it. 3 stories that I cover, like some, like one recent, 2 that are a bit older. And that's something I'm working on. Again, it's a podcast. It's a side project. That's youtube.com/forbidden knowledge 2, I think is on that channel right now. It's something I'm working on though, but it's like, again, I could talk about that on there obviously, because that's, some stuff. But I mean, look, the Max Headroom thing to me is fascinating because I don't know what they're going to do with the show, but I think at this point, they should do it, the drama as an investigation into who did it, into like, even if it's a dramatized investigation, like do the drama show about who did the hacking, because in our cultural lexicon, right, where we are now, yeah, don't do it like it's, don't reboot it as a drama about like, what, I don't know how old Matt Frewer is now. He's in his 60s, maybe late 50s, early mid 60s, somewhere in there. I like the guy. But it's like going back to that to kind of reboot that doesn't make a lot of sense. I know AI is a whole thing now, whatever, biting commentary and satire on the internet. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me at the end of the day, right? Yeah, Cosmic, if there's, UFO stories will be in there. Everything else, right, will be in there as well. I think the first episode I talked about a dead body that had been like shipped via FedEx and then lost in the mail. I talked about a group of micro-nationalists holding a convention in Vegas, which is kind of funny. And then what's the other story? Oh, it was about a former chief of police of St. Paul, Minnesota, that literally had an open door policy with criminals. And he basically created a criminal haven, provided they paid bribes and committed no crimes in the city. And that lasted for almost 40 years. Interesting stuff there. Anyway, yeah. There you go. Another Stranger Days story. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's been covered to death, Ryan, but it is that. Anyway, I'm excited to see what they do with this, although my take on it ultimately is the same as I had before, which is just, give us something about the mystery of it, not what we've already seen. And, but you know what? No one ever listens to me anyway, right? So, also, I forgot about this one here. Solo 2. You hear about the co-writer wanting to go back to the well?
No, I did not, but I'm all for it. Let's go.
I know, man. I know. I'm down. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone on this one. So, Solo co-writer Lawrence Kasdan has debunked rumors of a Disney Plus continuation of Solo, a Star Wars story, but remains open to doing another film. That part sucks because I would love there to be the series versus being a movie. It would probably be cheaper for them ultimately. But when asked about it, this is what he says. No, there's not any talk of that. I've never been particularly drawn to expanding Solo into a show, but I do talk to John Kasdan, who's his son, and Ron Howard a lot about what went right and what went wrong with the Solo experience. I would be more interested in doing another movie, not a TV series. Now, here's the thing, though, is Lawrence Kasdan, and Jimbo, a lot of people, okay, I have to just ask the question. I'm not meaning this to be patronizing. Do you know who Lawrence Kasdan is?
You don't need to be patronizing because I do not know.
Okay. That's okay. Lawrence Kasdan and his son John Kasdan wrote Solo. Okay. That's obvious at this point. We established that. But
yeah,
Lawrence Kasdan also wrote Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back. He wrote Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
He co-wrote The Force Awakens with JJ. He's done a lot of stuff, right? Just recently.
So they're Star Wars goats. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is Star Wars Lucasfilm alum is what I'm saying, right? The alumni of Lucasfilm. Okay. And the thing what's interesting about Lawrence Kasdan is this guy just put out a documentary series called Light and Magic on Disney Plus, taking us through the origins of light and magic, or industrial light and magic, and the making of Star Wars and things like that. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I need to sit down and watch it. Maybe I will tonight. However, I think with that renewed zeal and just Lawrence Kasdan as being because he's a good director and he's a good storyteller, and he's, so he's in that world. I'd like to see him go back and try to do this thing right. A lot of people out there really, I think Solo has found a fan base, if you want my honest opinion. I liked it when it came out 4 years ago. Like, I went and saw it opening night or the preview night, and I was a little apprehensive following The Last Jedi, but I walked away really loving Solo. I've watched it a bunch since then. I think the movie's a blast. I think it's just so much fun.
Same. I enjoyed it. Like, it's not the greatest Star Wars film to me, but it's great for what it is. And I've seen it multiple times and I still like it. I mean, it's a great entertaining film. And I love kind of like seeing kind of like the action sequences, like with Chewbacca, like showing like the meat, and then when that action sequence is awesome. I would love to see like more action sequences in Star Wars like that, like all like type shit,
I loved the heist to steal the ship. That when Chewie and Han met Beckett, the train robbery sequence was pretty great. The robot uprising bit with L337 was kind of dumb, and like I was actually okay when she died. I was like, all right, there needs to be a casualty, so might as well let that happen. And then, but again, like at the Kessel Run and everything else was pretty fantastic. I really enjoyed the movie. I would love to see more in that world. Again, like Rogue One is something I really liked. Apparently, a lot of people are now getting screeners for Andor coming out at the end of the month, so that's going to be something. Now Anthony here says, has some really done moments. I disagree. I thought it was fun for what it was. I think Howard did a good job. Probably like the dumbest thing in Solo was how he got his name. Right? What's your name? Han. What's your last name? Well, Solo, because you're by yourself. Because you're like, it's a little dumb. But what's great is hearing the Imperial March as a recruitment theme song.
Oh, dude, that
was a lot of fun.
Funny. I just started laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a little too on the nose.
It was really funny to see that stuff play out. It was stupid, but it was cheesy fun. So, I mean, look, I'm down for 100% for more Solo and everything. With any luck, we'll get it. But if I'm being honest, and again, I'm not going to sit there and like, overly speculate for something or promise something that's not going to happen. I don't think we're probably going to get like a lot with it, to be fair. I don't know if it's going to happen. I want it to. I'll always campaign for it, but like realistically, I think Disney is like, let's move on from there. Let's move forward to something else is what I think we're going to get out of that one. So, all right, why don't we get into the final little bit of the thing here? Grace Randolph versus the Snyderverse.
Well, what do you know?
That's right, folks.
I hate it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like, oh, like, well, like, oh god, why do you sound like that? Stop.
I know. Every time I do it, I just need to drop this one right afterward.
Oh no, not again.
Not again.
Oh, I know. Grace.
Xenomorph.
But again, the Xenomorph gets it. Now, the thing with Grace is Grace has had a bit of a rough time. Okay. And obviously, I kind of brought her up the other night, but there's been some more stuff since then. She's still really been kind of going off on people. So coming over here to her Twitter account on my alt where I'm not blocked. She's hold on. She was talking about, I grabbed the wrong where's my likes? There we go. Old image. Okay. So like this is one where she this is from the other day. This is from yesterday. She's saying here, like, you Snyder fans are getting played. I'm trying to help you retain some dignity, but that's cool. Do you? The Snyderverse is never coming back, in large part because so many of you are so toxic. You made your own bed. Now, do you think that that's actually pretty accurate? Do you think that the Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't want to deal with them because they're so toxic?
I mean, I wouldn't say here's like the thing. I mean, yeah, there is a good portion of it that do take things a little too far with how they want their campaign for the Snyderverse. But I won't say that's like all of it. I mean, she just is kind of like, because obviously the ones that mainly engage and stuff like with her and on Twitter are those who are more vocal, and that could be the case, like more toxic. But I just don't think it's that. I just maybe would think it's not as profitable as they wanted it to be. And they're just like, we'll move in other directions. And also like the ratings, the audience, the critic reviews aren't exactly all there 100%. And they're just like, maybe try something else because it hasn't been wild. I mean, like BVS, it should have been way more successful with the Trinity, but it wasn't. And that is also partly to do with Warner Bros. Itself. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you 50-50 on this one.
I mean, look, I think she's got a good point. All right. Like, at the end of the day, this is all business. And so if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, which is like a true statement. It's a true statement. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And that is the reality of it. So if you look at this whole scenario and you're like, okay, you Snyder fans are all getting played. Well, by who? Who is playing the Snyder fans? In reality, it's going to be social media. It's going to be the studio, because they know that all they have to do is give you a little bit of a morsel, a little bit of a tease, a little bit of a thing, and they all lose their minds, right? And then it trends and everyone's talking about it. And then you have a lot of the infighting. And let's be fair, they don't actually care about the infighting, because they know that no matter what, the infighting is going to spur interest, and that spurring of interest is going to lead to clicks and views and money, whether it's through ticket sales or whether it is through, HBO Max subscriptions or things like that. We know that. We know that's how Warner Brothers is. And so her saying here, the Snyderverse is not coming back, in large part because so many of you are so toxic. If Warner Media commissioned, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on that commission that Rolling Stone talked about, in order to determine that 13 to 17% of those involved in the Release the Snyder Cut campaign, or there was, were in fact bots, or even Restore the Snyderverse were in fact bots, they're not going to want to deal with that as well. Now, I agree with Mo here. All it takes is one push. That's very true. Rational here says, but Grace is upset that people are calling her out on BS. Yeah, she is. Right? Now, Danny here says she's rubbing it in, but she's right, which again is also correct. Grace is upset that she's being called out, so she is doubling down, but she's also not necessarily the wrongest she could be. You know what I mean? So you've got that. Then she goes on to say here, I hear the new Warner Brothers leadership doesn't want to engage with you, so not even entertaining the idea of bringing the Snyderverse back. The story should leak at some point, just cleaning up the mess. Now, who's going to be releasing that information, right? Who's going to be leaking that story? Would that be Rolling Stone? Would it be Hollywood Reporter? Would it be Variety? Would it be Vanity Fair? I mean, like, could it be Slash Film, The Wrap? Like, if I had to guess, they would probably want to put it out through like a reputable but adversarial outlet, if you want my honest opinion, right? Because like, I think if they were going to do it, Humberto Gonzalez would do it from The Wrap. That's my take. I think Humberto would be the guy, because for one, hardcore Snyder fans would not like it. Hardcore Snyder fans would not agree with it. They wouldn't jive with it. They would push back and push back and push back. And Zach will probably never, ever, 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 ever tell them that it's over, which is his prerogative to not do. Now, Rational here says Grace was upset ever since James Gunn started calling her out, which, yeah, I mean, I get that.
Go James Gunn. That's a W for you, sir.
Yeah, and it was funny because he called her out saying, like, she's always full of shit. But that doesn't mean that she's always wrong. Doesn't mean that she's always right. And again, grain of salt, everything. I don't ever, even her saying this here comes across more as salty than it comes across as being like, informed or maybe even like wishful thinking. But the thing is, like, again, I go to this one. The story should leak at some point. Well, if you have that story and you've leaked other Snyder cut stuff before, whether it's like before, as we talked about earlier with the Rational Skeptic super chat about how she had said that Warner Media was looking or, was interested in having Zack do Justice League 2 and Justice League 3, then that does shift over time to being like this. It's never coming back. But then you get this one here saying, this guy says, thank God Warner Brothers Discovery has Ezra Miller to lead the way and kick off the new DC film universe. So then she says, Ezra's out. Warner Brothers Discovery has made the call and they won't after the Flash, which a lot of us have more or less, we've agreed with that.
But I mean, yeah, I just don't know. Like, I need to message Sage or kind of like talk to Sage about this, because I don't know every single detail about the Ezra Miller stuff, but a lot of it seems like it's just like people, I don't know, like at least from like what I've seen, it's like a lot of it is just like misleading in terms of like the most recent stuff. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know, but like I'm like, who else would play the Flash? Like, who else would be a good Flash? That's what they need. Like, if that's truly what they're gonna do, like, who's going to be the next Flash and how are they going to make it make sense in the DCEU? Like, that's a bigger question. If that's really where they're going.
And again, it's kind of like, I think they're treating, the Flash as a cap off. I think whatever happens, because they've got a year, 11 months till it comes out. They haven't done reshoots yet. And it's entirely possible that what they're going to do is they're going to just end cap it. Right there. End cap the Snyderverse with that. Admit that, Black Adam and Shazam are not in that reality. They're in another reality. Whatever reality Barry ends up at the end of The Flash is the new one that's going to have Keaton and Supergirl and everything else. And like I've said before, they're establishing that it's not going to be Henry Cavill who fights Black Adam. I know The Rock keeps teasing it.
Because he's a businessman, and that's a smart move, even if it's not true, because he obviously wants to create buzz in a DC, because that's like what everyone wants. Yeah. Everyone wants to see those two go at it, and Henry back as Superman. Like, that's like desperately what I want too. I want to see Henry come back as Superman and him, like, but like, dude, it just hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. I mean, Ryan here says even a broken clock is right twice a day. 100%. Absolutely. So I think, there's a lot of questions here about what might happen. She goes on to say that more info. Ben was very kind to do Warner Brothers / DC a favor and fix the Keaton end credit scene. He still does not want to come back full time, but Keaton has a multi-picture deal. Apparently, the end credit scene is really important, so they just can't scrap it. And that makes sense. If that's true, if it's true that Keaton was going to be in the end credit sequence because The Flash was going to come out before Aquaman 2, and they were going to have that connection going into the future, leading into Batgirl of all things. Because remember, Batgirl, Keaton's in it. Flash, Keaton's in it. Aquaman, apparently now it's Affleck, but it was Keaton. I mean, there's a lot going on with this. Like, is Keaton going to make an appearance in Blue fucking Beetle? Like, what are they going to do?
I won't be surprised if they kind of create like their own mini universe with Keaton and all that stuff. And like, that would like at least make more sense to me, because I was like, bro, like, I mean, Keaton isn't getting any younger, and it makes sense for them to kind of like have like their own, like I would see them ending The Flash with like Keaton and like The Flash, like getting put in a different universe where Keaton's able to like, maybe like, because obviously there's Batgirl and I would put Blue Beetle in there too, and they'd be like, this world lost their Batman, and this one desperately needs a mentor, so we're gonna throw you in this world or something like that, like some really cheesy shit.
Well, again, it's the whole idea that, like, because even the guys who did Batgirl, they're like, we don't really know what they're planning. Like, we just made this movie. We don't know what they're planning because they haven't talked about it. What they need to do is roadmap it, right? Like, say what you will about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I mean that, literally. Say what you will about it. It's got its good, it's got its bad. All right? But they have a roadmap now. We've seen the roadmap. The roadmap
They've always had a roadmap.
Yeah.
Though. That's the thing.
And
They've had a roadmap and they stuck to it.
And when they didn't have a roadmap, right, for like the last year and a half with Phase 4, and like the fans are like, well, what the fuck's going on? Where's the fucking roadmap? Because the last time you gave us a roadmap really was a couple of years ago
with the Infinity Saga. Now it's just all introductions and like people wondering, like, especially me, this is I see what the point you're making, because I felt the same way. Like, what is Phase 4? This is literally just introducing a shit ton of characters. Like, what are you gonna do to make this all stick together? This is a universe. Like, what's gonna tie this all together? Why have we been like, obviously with No Way Home, WandaVision, all that, like that totally makes sense, and I'm like, oh yeah, that all connects. But Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Falcon and Winter Soldier, like all this stuff needs to like find a way to stick and like actually show that it was actually meaningful to watch. Because a lot of it to me just felt like, it was just kind of like a build up just to kind of get to where we should have been already. Like with Falcon and Winter Soldier,
yeah.
Which I'm guessing that's what the new Captain America is going to be about, especially with Kurt Russell's son. I feel like that's going to have a huge thing for Captain America 4, or is it 4? Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, Captain America. Yeah, we're gonna hopefully get more U.S. agent, and I loved Wyatt Russell in the role, but I think even going back to this whole Grace Randolph thing, I agree with the concept that she's getting pushback, so she is firing back and doubling down. I think it's like, again, I get it. People have their ego; they want to protect it, they want to fight. I've done the same thing on social media, So it's like there's that, but DC, DC hasn't garnered any ounce of faith from the fan base. Like not 1 ounce of faith from the fan base. Like not one.
No.
And yet like all of these people are just like running out and they're like, oh no, like Zaslav will save us. And it's like, dude, they haven't, like, the only element of DC right now that you should give any credibility to. There's 2 areas, right? There's 2. Matt Reeves, the Batman, and the future projects out of that, because we've had established success with that. And then also James Gunn with Peacemaker Season 2, with the other shows he's working on, and whether or not he does another movie. I don't think he's going to do another movie, but I think the TV show side of it's going to be his. Those are not going to intersect. Those universes are not going to intersect whatsoever. But those have at least been proven to have good track records and success. And whereas, like, look, people out there don't want to argue that. They don't ever want to look at like what data we do know about the Snyder Cut. And I mean, like the working, conspiratorial theory is that, well, did you hear that the movie did way better than what Warner Brothers had expected, but it embarrassed them. It made them upset. It made them cry to their grandmother, and they can't have it. So they have to like run and like, kill the project and not release the data. I mean, dude, we're talking like they act like Zack Snyder like walked up and like just like dropped his nuts in their cereal, and they went crying home to mommy about it, and like that's it. Like there's like no evidence to support that the movie was as big as some people have built it up in their minds. I'm not saying that the movie didn't have legs. It did. Obviously on streaming has done very well, but is it enough to warrant the cost for more? And people out there, again, tend to forget the $400 million fucking price tag that this property cost. So that's a factor here. However, with Grace, I think Grace should do kind of what I'm doing in this scenario, which is like, hey, you know what I said when the whole Affleck thing? At first, I didn't really believe it. I'll tell you that, Jim. But I didn't really believe it because I'm like, is that real? Is that legit? Like, is it fake? Is this recent? Is this from when, when they were like shooting movies and they were in London and Ben went over to the Aquaman set, because that happened, right? And I'm like, I have no idea. So I don't want to jump to conclusions on this one, and then all of a sudden it's like, no. He confirms it. It's, whatever. And like, oh, okay, cool. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with what is it, like with Alan Horn coming back in. I'm like, good. This spells good things for DC. Like,
yeah,
I'm believe it or not, guys, I'm actually trying to not fight. I'm actually not trying to fight everybody on this anymore. I'm really not, but I will cut in on this one. The Moondog. The report said 13%. Tatiana Spiegel on an interview and a podcast interview with Matt Maloney called The Ringer, she says that her reporting actually said up to 17%. She just did not include that in the overall piece. So that's where the 17% came from. I should have clarified that when I said it, but I have mentioned it before on other live streams. But if you go and you find that podcast interview, which is really interesting, it might give you a bit more insight into that whole thing. Don't bring up Beard Watch. Don't do that here. Don't do that here, Jimbo. We're not doing that shit here. We're not doing that shit here. All right.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
No, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. I'm in no way acknowledging that shit. But no, it's really just like it. And again, like I'm happy for more of it, right? And if it happens, it happens. I just don't want to be like, Grace is doing what so many of us shouldn't do, which is like fight the fan. It's fun to fight the fans, but it's exhausting and it doesn't accomplish anything, you know, because her repeatedly saying that all this is going to happen, all it does is just like get people to come after you, and they pull out every little thing that they can to attack you with. And it's like not really worth it at the end of the day. You know, so RJ, you have a link to come on in. Shut the fuck up or come on in.
Yeah, RJ.
You know, a broken clock can be right twice a day. Perfectly fine. But I don't have to give that clock, I don't have to give that any credit. Or I don't have to give them any air. So there's that. Anyway.
But Grace, though.
But Grace, on the other hand, is definitely an interesting case. Only because I feel like we're at a space now. Look, so over the span of the pandemic, a lot of scoopers blew up. And a lot of scoopers blew up because there was not a lot of information going on. And people out there were like desperate to know what's happening with their favorite franchises. Now the theaters are coming back. Now people are going to the movies again. Like there's a lot more stuff coming out, a lot more varied stuff coming out. There's more streaming services. There's a lot more to watch. A lot's still being made. I think the reliance on scoopers is one that's ultimately coming to an end. And not coming to an end, but because there's never not going to be a need, but it's like one that is definitely kind of like simmering down quite a bit. So the problem though, is all these scoopers who have made names for themselves are going to have to keep doing it. And I have said, and I stand by this, I think scooping is detrimental to the enjoyment of a movie because it either sets the intention or it destroys the intention, right? You're either excited for it or you're going to be against it. And we're taking away that excitement when you go into it, because now if you think something's going to happen when you go into a movie, that's going to be in the back of your brain, and that's going to be taking away from other elements of the movie. So I really feel, I really feel that there's that. Now, okay, Moondog, yeah, that's a good question. All right. It says, how is her making money off of the pushback any different than anyone else using it to create content? As much as I like your content, you've been kind of milking the controversy as well. Now, I've been talking about it for a long time, 100%. What we're talking about here, she's not really making any money off the pushback, though. She didn't do a video calling it out. That would be where she would make her money. She kept this all on Twitter. The reason why she didn't do this on a video is because she doesn't want to deal with the backlash on YouTube. I've talked about the controversy for a long ass time, usually because I think it's funny to piss off certain people. However, after this last couple weeks, it's mostly just been kind of like, it's been really, this last week specifically was like really, really ridiculous. And it just kind of got me to a point where I'm like, look, I don't really care. I'll talk about it. And I'm going to come at it from the space of, I want to see more. If it happens, it happens. If not, you know what? There's Marvel. And maybe we'll get some good DC content out of it. Flat out. Like maybe we'll get some good DC content. If we get it, we get it. If not, whatever. You know, like it sucks, but it's whatever. MX here says, Grace went full Jody. You never go full Jody. I mean, Grace, she does block a lot of people. So that's true. That's true. But, she's not out there calling everyone really terrible names yet. So we're okay. She's not full Jody yet. She's not full Jody. So, yeah, I mean, like, do you have any final thoughts about Grace, Jimbo?
I just think that she is playing a lot of just like kind of like offensive because she's trying to combat obviously people giving her shit on Twitter, and that's just kind of spelling out. And it just seems like it's kind of like a frantic thing to like kind of save her credibility and save herself and what she's built. Basically, that's it. And she just is fighting back against the fandom, I guess, in that aspect. At least like people that are more engaging with her on Twitter. But I just don't think it's a good look for her. Definitely, she needs to if I were her, I would reorganize what I'm doing with the content. Like, what am I gonna focus on? What's gonna give me like more clicks and less headache? And obviously, Sniper stuff for her at least isn't beneficial to her at all. I mean, unless she just ignored it or just kind of mentions it when it's needed. Otherwise, just focus on other things. Because it just seems like this is all giving her just way more headaches. Because she's made comments like this when the Flash stuff was kind of big a couple of months ago, and that was giving her a headache. And now this, it's just like, ugh, my goodness, she just cannot cover this. Like, unfortunately, it just does not work out for her.
Well, I mean, it is very much like that in regards to Grace. I think a lot of it is just trying to maintain stuff, right? Like I've been literally I don't know, maybe making myself sick over this. Like I've just been stressed out like crazy because I'm like, I want to watch more stuff. Like I watched Gray Man, I enjoyed it, but I'm like, how do I review it? How do I talk about it? That's something, like I mentioned this before, but it's like, YouTube, it feels like there's just a litany of like movie-based content, right? So it's like, how do you do something that's like really different? I think Hollywood After Dark works. The show has been growing in regards to like viewership and a lot of support from the fans, from the listeners. And again, I thank you guys so much for that. And I enjoy that because I think I add a unique take on these perspectives or, on these stories. But it's like when it comes into like the longevity, like bringing in new people, it's like that's kind of what Grace should focus on. It's like her channel is almost at 1 million. It will get there if she continues to do these like episode breakdowns of like Game of Thrones or these movie reviews that she does. Those bring in the new people. Like her breakdowns, like announcements, will bring in the new people. Her trailer reactions will bring in the new people. The news is just like, it's not necessarily what always brings in the new people, and it's like, I feel like, but again, where everything nowadays being twisted, everything nowadays, like with like the fandom menace and all that bullshit. Look at, House of the Dragon comes out here next Sunday, I think, right? I think it's next Sunday.
No, not next Sunday. It's August 21st.
Oh, it's August 21st. Okay, so thank God, a couple weeks.
It's my birthday.
And that's going to be huge. Like, I can't wait to watch House of the Dragon. I'm hyped,
dude. It's literally like a great birthday present for me. Like, bro, not only do I turn 21, but like I get to watch House of the Dragons too. Finally get some more Westeros action. Like, oh, great.
Yeah, hold on. Mo Moon here says, I'm attracted to Shu, Saggy, and Grace. You're talking Shu on head. I've met 2 out of 3 of those, and the middle one has my phone number. So that's pretty funny. That's why you're attracted to loud women. I mean, that's something. Is your mother loud? Because that's a question. I think that's kind of a thing. Well, no, Queen Danny, you're right. She has more subs than anyone else in the community. She's fine, but subs don't always account to anything. All right, they really don't. Like,
what about loud men? What about loud men?
No. We're good. We're fine on that one there.
Whoa. Go full signal.
The fuck was that? Yeah. Just imagine that's how he eats ass.
Yeah. Whoa.
Andy Signors, sexual ASMR.
Why do that again, Jarvo? Please, for me. Ooh. Don't get mad. Just...
All right, anyway, this is gross now. I'm grossed out. That's disgusting. Nerdy Mastermind here, it says here, Matt, does Grace strike you as someone who has been single for a long time? I think Grace has admitted that she is heterosexual. I do feel that she is asexual, right? Like that's my vibe, and no shade, no shame, no nothing, man. Like that's kind of the vibe I get. But then again, like, look, her work is her life. She does this all the time. Like, and that's kind of the whole thing though, is like when you are in this position she's got to do all of this. So she stays up till 3 a.m, does these, watch parties for her channel. And then she'll go and record her review, and then she'll edit that review. And then the next day she'll do like her breakdown or whatever. So it's a lot of constant. I don't have time for fucking that shit. Hell no, man. I got kids, right? Like I got kids and I have another job. So it's like, I got time for that. But if this was my full-time job and I could do that, then you still spend a lot of time. Now, here's the thing with Grace though, as well. Grace also gets access to everything early. She gets sent screeners early all the time. So she is definitely in a position to where she can make these videos a lot quicker, a lot faster than a lot of other people can. And that is also the grind she finds herself in, where she'll get like, like she's watching Sandman right now. She got the Sandman screener sent to her by Netflix. So she's watching Sandman. So she'll be able to then write out her notes and record all of her content. So as soon as those episodes drop and there's no watermark on it, she can get her hands on them. She can get the content she needs to make and then go from there and then get that video work done faster. So it's like, but that's kind of that. But I do agree with Danny here. The channel is her. The channel is absolutely Grace, 100%. Is Grace a plant? No, Grace isn't a plant, Simon. I'm not saying she's a plant. I'm saying, I don't know if you mean that like in like a figurative or a literal sense. I don't think she's a plant on either front. There are people out there who think that she is owned by Penske Media, that they own her channel, that she is, beholden to them, and they own Hollywood Reporter and they own Rolling Stone, like it's this big, like vast media conspiracy. The people who say that are the kind of people who also probably blame everything on the Jews. I'll leave you to go find them on Twitter yourself in the fandom. That one might get me in trouble. Anyway, here, Rand.
What was that?
Never mind. Rand here is saying, a Rand man is saying, Grace is my favorite. I watch all of her videos. That's good, man. I'm glad you watch all of her stuff. Anthony here says it's clear that Grace isn't happy though. How she keeps going after Jessica Chastain. I think they know each other, right? I think she knows her. I really feel that she knows her and that there is an actual like beef there that I would love to get the full story on. So there's that. And Queen Danny here says that they like Movie Math. I watch Movie Math. I like it. Yeah. Let's see. What the hell? I got like some random, like, that was weird. My calendar just went off and it's all like, you have something to do tomorrow. No, I don't. It's Sunday. Anyway. All right. Rational here says, do you agree that most scoopers are snake oil salesmen? I do, actually. Yes, I do. I think if you do it full time, like look at someone like, God, who was her name? Emergency Awesome, right? Do you watch Emergency Awesome, Jimbo?
No, first time I'm hearing about this person.
Big channel. I think like 4 million, 5 million subs or whatever. Massive fucking clickbait, dude. Everything is a teaser trailer announcement. Not even kidding you. I'm going to bring up
So like Mike Zero and Doomcock.
It's a little different though. Like it's no. It's like everything is very much 4.31 million subs is what Emergency Awesome has at this point. And a lot of people out there like Charlie, like, again, I got nothing against him, but the game is the game, I guess, but it really does get to be annoying for fans out there who just want there to be like factual reporting without the need for massive clickbait. But YouTube tells you, oh God, don't, Matt.
Oh no.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Hold the fuck on. Hold on, dude.
Whoa, what?
Grace just needs a boyfriend to get her pregnant so she can disappear happily into the sun. No,
What?
man. No. Come on, man.
That's a no, dude.
Yeah. I had someone message me the other day and go like, man, Ben Affleck seems a lot happier since he started tapping that Latina ass. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, don't send me this shit. Like, like I don't need that in my inbox and everything else. It's just like, no, I don't need that. It's not like,
I heard you say no, and I'm like, oh God, what happened? And I look up him and I'm like, yeah, oh no.
Wait a minute here. Grace has a husband?
Good for her.
That is a new development, folks. Hollywood After Dark exclusive, but good for her. But anyway, this is Emergency Awesome here. Mostly Game of Thrones was kind of his big deal, right? But it'll say here, like, look, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, right? Adam Warlock first look breakdown. What is the other thing here? It says, and Marvel Phase 5 Easter eggs, 183,000 views 4 hours ago, 8,000 views per hour roughly. There is no Guardians of the 3 trailer that's out there. So that's clickbait. She-Hulk trailer. All right. Like, this is more realistic because they have the Ghost Rider stuff. So that's more of a realistic thing. Aquaman 2, first look teaser. You know, I don't think this thing actually, again, that there was no first look teaser for Aquaman 2 that was recent, you know. But then again, Charlie does cover a lot of the Game of Thrones. So House of the Dragon episode 1 review, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty teaser trailer. Is there a teaser trailer for Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty? No, there is not. That's the kind of clickbait we're talking about here. 3 days ago, 609,000 views. That is how Charlie has very much been kind of milking that system. And it's very annoying, right? He was breaking down the leaked trailer. There was no leaked trailer, though, there was a leak. Like, was there a leaked trailer for Quantumania? Yes. Guardians 3? Yes. But it's not out there in any way. It's just to say that it's, you know, talking about that shit. But yeah, it is clickbait like a mofo. So there's that. Also, people got the episode early for Dragon. I know it's not just him. I know a lot of other people got it. I don't have that connection yet, or else I would absolutely would have seen it. Because I want to see it.
Dude, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and what you could say whatever you want about season 8. I think literally they just had to spend more time, lessen the pacing, and it would actually be kind of decent. Because I just think people like mainly just don't like the way like it ended with their favorite characters. I think that's one of the main things. But with me, it's literally just structural wise with season 8. But I'm just really hopeful that they learned their lessons, and I cannot wait to see House of the Dragon and all that. I think the only thing that with Westeros that people need to worry about is if George R.R. Martin is ever going to finish the damn book.
No, I don't think so.
Bro, I think that's going to go into
so.
the grave. I'm going to be honest. That book is never going to come out.
It's never going to happen.
I've been dying, bro. I've been dying for years, but that motherfucker still hasn't finished it.
Well, I mean, look, I want him to finish it. I think we all want him to finish it. You know, I don't plan on probably ever reading the book, but I want him to finish it because I want everyone to shut the fuck up about it. Really. By the way, guys, 100 people are now watching for 11:30 on a Saturday night. That's fantastic. Thank you all so much. Just go ahead and slap the like if you haven't already. And also,
the like button.
Stop. That's gross. But Reed here says, it's like if New Rockstars went clickbait, and New Rockstars is a good channel. New Rockstars definitely goes a little clicky. But I think Eric Voss and the team, they put out pretty decent content, right? Pretty decent content. However, check this one out here. Disgrace Randolph is now trending, right? And it's basically just like they're now. That's actually like that's a really good hashtag Disgrace Randolph. I've never seen that before. That's really fucking funny. So anyway, that's going on right now too. So let's see here. Why don't we do this? We'll go for maybe another 15, 20 minutes because it is getting a little late here. But you guys can ask me whatever you want. And I did want to get to the Benson super chat. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate the 5 bones. It says, hey, Matt, watched Under the Banner of Heaven on Disney Plus, true crime drama exposing the corruption, racism, and nonsense of Mormons. Garfield is great. I know here it's on Hulu, but it's definitely one that I want to see. The Mormon Church is a very fascinating story in and of itself, and there is a lot of corruption and problems with the Mormon Church. But you know, I wonder if a particular channel on YouTube he's not really active anymore. But I wonder if Dawson canceled his YouTube his Disney Plus subscription because of that one, because he's hardcore. But I do want to see that one. Definitely something we're checking out. So, all right, what else we got here? Let's see. Jimbo, buddy. Ryan Hartwell drops a 10 boner for you here. Says, for Jimbo, just because you don't know about something doesn't automatically make it niche. Even if it is, being a nerd is all about being knowledgeable, regardless of public wherewithal. Are you talking about were you talking about the Max Headroom thing? He might have stepped away for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to respond to that, but like, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of excited the way they're gonna do it, and if they do it like you said they are, like that would be cool to investigate, like that incident. That would be cool. I'm gonna have to look. I'm definitely gonna look into it and see what it more is. See if there's like full episodes of it in on YouTube somewhere, because I'm like it does look interesting. That's all I could say about it. It looks interesting, and I do definitely love how wacky it is.
But here's the thing: it is not for everybody. Right? And that's the other side of it as well. I get what Ryan is saying, and I'm totally with him on it. Being a nerd is kind of like, he's right. It is kind of looked at as being knowledgeable. However, isn't that a bit of a stereotype in and of itself? Like, I mean, can you be passionate about something on a surface level and like not be like as into it as other people? Like, I love Star Wars and I'm knowledgeable about the movies, but if you go into like the legends, right, or the EU lore, or even the new book stuff
like that,
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. There's stuff there that sounds cool and shit.
It's just like being a casual fan. That's kind of like what it kind of is. I mean,
yeah,
you know the surface level stuff, like such as the films, maybe a couple of cartoons, but like the books and other stuff, all their adaptation.
Adaptation.
Sorry, I cannot speak. But
It's
like,
okay.
yeah,
It's
I
okay.
mean, I just definitely, because like I've always like I've seen that video of like the hacked broadcast so many times, and like people saying top 10 scariest moments on the internet, and that's always there. But I just never.
How can you sit there before the internet was a thing? 1987, go top 10 scariest moments on the internet. 1987 Max Headroom hacking. It doesn't.
Trust me, they're out there, and that's how I watch it.
I'm sure. I watch a bunch of those too. Yeah.
But then it said like broadcast. I'm like, so that's not the internet. That's a broadcast. That's different. But I just didn't question it because it was such a unique thing. Like I'm sitting and watching, it's like that, like it's so creepy because of how distorted the audio is, and just the mask and everything, just very like psychedelic in a lot of aspects of it. So I'm like, they never explained it as like the Max Headroom thing. Because if it did and like actually had like some sort of context to it besides just playing the video on these YouTube videos, I would have actually like did a little more digging into it, because that's actually curious to me. Like I'm just like, now, because now I know that I want to learn a little bit more about Max Headroom and stuff like that, and see what it's all about. Because I mean, there has to be some sort of reason why these people picked Max Headroom for the costume and kind of like the idea for it. So obviously there just has to be something deeper in that.
Well,
I
it's possible, and I can't speak. We don't know why they chose him, but it was also 1987. Max Headroom was popular in 1987. There's a lot of merchandise, the Coca-Cola advertisement, things like that. So it's possible that people out there just like, whoever did this was like, okay, we can kind of like, because if you look at the background, right, there was the sheet metal is moving, and it's not the camera moving. There are people on either side of the main performer that are moving everything around, and they're the ones that are like making it look all trippy and everything else. And whoever did this was just saying random things, random nonsense. I mean, they reference a few people like Chuck Shirley or whatever that person's name was, whoever that person is. And like, I think that was a local Chicago like reporter or something. So it was very in line with Chicago politics at the time, or Chicago news reporting at the time. There was very much an intended target for that. Part of me, when I was watching some of these breakdowns, because there's like longer form breakdowns of it, like I've looked at some of those things and I've been like, man, like, are they talking about like, I just, part of me goes back to like, it feels like it's someone related to that Chuck guy, like what's his son up to at that point in time? Like whoever did this for a reason, but they never did it again. And like nobody outed them, meaning like they were never caught. The FBI never caught them. which makes me wonder if someone knew who it was and then covered it up and made it go away in order to like not out someone, like a relation to someone important or someone important themselves. That's been my take on that is my tinfoil hat take on that stuff, you know, is the fact that it was probably somebody who knew about it, you know. So we'll have to see where it goes.
There has to be someone that knows. Like, there's no way, because that's like kind of like a huge thing out. You would think so. There has to be someone that like found out. There has to be. Like, there's no way. Like, shit. Even the Zodiac, like allegedly, people like figured it out, but it was too late at that point. I mean, shit. Like, there's so many different. Like, even Jack the Ripper. Like, there's people that like even that's even interesting on its own. Like, there's so many people. Like, there's this one video I saw of like this guy breaking down all the reports and stuff like that, and like there had to be someone who saw the murders, and they're even speculating that it was a policeman itself. That's how they never got caught, because it's like an inside job or something like that. That's some tinfoil hat shit as well. But like, point being, like, there's no way these people just got off scot-free without anyone figuring out or finding out or like seeing something. There has to be someone out there, but they just obviously either just kind of kept it under the rug or just dismissed it. Because it's like, it's not a huge thing. It's just a local TV. It's just
it's like, shit. Forget about it. You didn't see nothing. Yeah. Nah. Well, no, there's again, in many of these instances, I do actually believe that, I think you're right. I think what we're looking at here is somebody had to know something. Somebody either recognized like the body type of the person, they recognized the mask, they would have seen the mask. There were like, again, there's a Reddit story that came out with someone saying that they like went to a party with the person they believed did it, things like that. It's hold on. Let's see. The 80s like to advertise futuristic stuff. Max Headroom is a nod to digital characters. That's true. Then Reed here asking, do you guys think that the person will come back because of the new show? I hope so. Now, the thing is, though, I don't know if the statute of limitations has expired on that crime. I'm pretty sure it has. It's been almost 40 years, or it's been 35 years. So I'm assuming that it probably has. But then again, I'm not too sure what crimes they would have been accused of committing, and even if it would be prosecutable at this point in time. No idea. But when we get to that point, it's going to be very interesting. But I think that is a good place to kind of wrap it up for me. So I can, it's warm and I want to go get some water and go cool off and stuff, because it's finally down to the 70s here. Washington, my God. But listen, guys, I want to say thank you to Jimbo for coming on and hanging out tonight. Appreciate that, buddy. And then thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking about, I think Hero Journalism will be here, talking about his video on the X-Men, the animated series that's blown up recently. Good video too. And also he knows some information about what's going on with X-Men 97 and what's happening with that, because he actually went to the panel at Comic-Con and got some info. So he wants to come on to talk about that and everything. And so it's good to have Jason back on the show. So look for that tomorrow night, and I will. Well, actually, I think there's a link for the Discord in the video description, but let me just drop that one more time. For those of you who are here who haven't yet joined the Discord, I'm trying to build it up to get a good group going on there. It's a great way to get notified of when I go live. It's a great way to keep in contact with me, because I don't always answer fucking Twitter or anything else, but I usually read Discord. And also, real quick here, Rainbow the Gamer does ask, do I know if there's going to be a Punisher show? I talked about that the other night. They say that it's coming. I hope so, because I also want to come.
It was literally like one of the best Marvel shows I've ever seen. Like that, I prefer that over Daredevil. I just love the way they did the Punisher in the Netflix one, and like I hope to whatever gods out there that they don't mess it up and ruin it. Like it meant like, if they like, because like the way they did the Punisher, the way like the tone, how they showed his behavior, the violence, it was perfect. It was great, and the story was awesome. I love the way season 1 was great, but season 2 was just as great. And I just would love if they just brought it back with a bang and had an amazing story. Just and bring back Madani and all the other people. Like that would be dope.
I am down for it, man. I'm down for more of that. Hopefully we get it. But all right, everybody, we'll talk to you all tomorrow. I'll talk to you all tomorrow night, probably. Have yourself a great night. Stay cool.